Imagine a world where every desire, every dream is not just a distant hope, but a living reality you walk within every day. What if the key to unlocking millions, not just of money, but of blessings, opportunities, and fulfillment, lies not in the outside world, but in the sacred theater of your mind? Listen closely, for within you is the divine power to assume and become. The law of assumption is no mere theory. It is the living truth that shapes your world from the inside out. You must awaken to the fact that your outer world is a reflection of your inner state. To attract millions, you do not chase wealth or scramble for it. Instead, you become the one who already has it. Feel the weight of that fortune as if it is already yours. Visualize in vivid detail not the struggle or the waiting, but the satisfaction, the freedom, and the joy of abundance flowing into your life effortlessly. Close your eyes and see yourself living in the reality where millions are not a goal, but a fact. This visualization is no ordinary daydream. It is a sacred act of creation. By daily rehearsing the scene of your desired wealth, you impress your subconscious mind, which accepts your assumption as truth. Your subconscious then works tirelessly to bring this reality into being, molding circumstances, opportunities, and people to fit your assumed state. You do not ask or wish, you know. This knowing, this feeling, is the secret passage to abundance. Each day, dedicate time to this inner ceremony. Be still, enter your imagination, and live in the end. Let the sensation of having millions fill your being, saturate your thoughts, and govern your emotions. Do not doubt or question the means. That is not your concern. Your concern is to embody the state of having already achieved your desire. The law of assumption does the rest. Remember, the world is not ruled by chance or luck, but by assumption. The assumption you hold as true. To attract millions, you must cease to see lack and instead perceive fullness. Cease to see scarcity and instead feel prosperity as your natural state. Persist with faith, clarity, and feeling, for this is the power that moves mountains and turns visions into gold. Your external reality is a mirror of your internal assumptions and feelings. Daily visualization of the end result impresses the subconscious and activates manifestation. Feeling the reality of your desire as already fulfilled is crucial to creation. The law of assumption works through unwavering faith and persistence in the assumed state. Focus on embodying abundance, not on the struggle or how it will come to you. The world you perceive outside yourself is not random or accidental. It is a perfect reflection of the thoughts, beliefs, and feelings you nurture within. Everything you see, the people, the circumstances, the wealth or lack thereof, is shaped and molded by the invisible, creative force within your own consciousness. This truth is the foundation upon which all manifestation rests. Your external reality is but a mirror, an image cast by your internal state of being. You must understand that the mind is a fertile ground where seeds of desire are planted. These seeds grow and bear fruit, but only in accordance with the soil they find inside you. If your inner world is filled with doubt, limitation, and fear, then your outer world will reflect those same limitations back to you. Conversely, if you cultivate within yourself a rich, fertile soil of confident assumptions, feelings of having, and unwavering faith, then your outer world will blossom with opportunities, success, and abundance. The law governing this process is exact and unforgiving, like produces life. This principle is not a vague metaphor, but an absolute law as certain as gravity. The outer conditions you find yourself in are not your starting point. They are the end result of a process that began long ago inside your imagination. Every situation, every relationship, every possession or lack you experience was first conceived in the unseen world of thought and feeling. It is this unseen realm that governs the scene, for what you carry within you will inevitably express itself without. To live by this truth, you must begin by examining your habitual thoughts and emotions. Are you constantly dwelling on scarcity? Do you see yourself as someone who struggles to make ends meet? These thoughts are powerful creative forces. They impress themselves upon your subconscious and command the world to produce matching circumstances. The subconscious does not argue or debate, it simply obeys the commands it receives from your dominant feelings and assumptions. Therefore, the key to changing your outer world lies in changing your inner world. You are not the victim of external events, rather, you are the master architect of your experience. The moment you realize this, you step into true power. You understand that by consciously choosing the assumptions you hold, by deliberately feeling yourself into the state of having what you desire, you begin to shape your reality accordingly. This is why visualization is so important, but it must be done correctly. Visualization is not merely picturing an image like a mental photograph, it is the living experience of being already in possession of your desire. You do not imagine what you want to happen someday in the future. You imagine yourself now in the reality where your wish is fulfilled. You feel the joy, the satisfaction, the freedom of already having it. You see yourself living the life you want, and you immerse yourself fully in that experience. By doing this daily, you impress the subconscious mind with a new assumption. The subconscious accepts as true whatever you impress upon it with vividness and feeling. It then sets about arranging your external world to correspond perfectly with that inner state. This is the hidden mechanism behind all manifestation. It is not the outside that creates the inside, but the inside that creates the outside. Many fail to realize this because they look at the world and see only the current circumstances. They assume these circumstances are fixed and immutable. But these appearances are transient. They change as your inner assumptions change. If you persist in feeling lack, then lack remains. But if you persist in feeling abundance, you create a new reality where abundance is inevitable. It is important to guard your imagination carefully. Your thoughts and feelings are like seeds that grow into reality. If you allow yourself to indulge in doubt, worry, or fear, you are planting seeds of limitation. Instead, consciously choose to dwell on thoughts and feelings of plenty, success, and fulfillment. This deliberate control of your inner state is your sovereign power. Understand, too, that this is not a quick fix or a magic trick. The process requires patience, persistence, and unwavering faith. Your subconscious mind works according to law and time. Sometimes manifestations happen quickly, other times they require the inner state to be established so firmly that the outer world must conform in due time. Know that no outside circumstance has power over you except the power you give it through your attention and feeling. You can look at your present reality and see it as temporary, a reflection of past assumptions that you no longer accept. You can choose today to change the inner assumption, to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and to let your imagination dwell there regularly. This practice will begin to change your world because it changes the cause of all your experience, your inner state. Remember, your imagination is not merely a tool for fantasy, but the very power that creates your reality. Treat it with respect and care. Use it daily to craft the scene of your desired life, feeling yourself into that reality with vividness and emotion. The world outside will obey, for it must reflect what you carry inside. The law is simple, yet profound. Your outer life is a mirror of your inner assumptions. Change the assumptions, and the reflection changes. This understanding places the key to abundance and success squarely in your hands. You are not at the mercy of chance, circumstance, or other people. You are the creative force behind your experience. By mastering this law and applying it daily, you awaken to your true nature as a creator. You see how your thoughts, feelings, and assumptions shape every facet of your existence. This knowledge is power, the power to transform your life from scarcity to abundance, from struggle to ease, from limitation to limitless possibility. This is the secret of all manifestation. The outer world can never be other than the reflection of the inner world you carry. To attract millions or any desire, you must first see yourself as already having them, and live from that place of certainty and feeling. The world will follow where your imagination leads. Embrace this truth, practice it daily, and watch as the invisible becomes visible as your inner dreams take form in the outer world. To grasp the profound power of daily visualization, you must first recognize it as a sacred rehearsal, a deliberate and repeated act of embodying your desired reality within the theater of your imagination. Visualization is not a casual daydream nor a fleeting wish. It is the conscious, vivid immersion into the feeling and experience of your desire already fulfilled. This daily practice is the bridge between the unseen world of your inner consciousness and the manifested reality that you will one day walk through. Every manifestation begins as an invisible seed within your imagination. The subconscious mind, like fertile soil, requires this seed to be planted deeply and nurtured daily with vivid scenes and genuine feeling. When you make visualization a consistent daily ritual, you impress upon your subconscious the certainty of your fulfilled desire. This certainty removes all doubt and resistance, allowing the creative power within to bring forth your vision into physical form. The reason daily repetition is so vital lies in the nature of consciousness itself. The mind is continually bombarded by external influences, doubts from others, worries from your own thinking, and distractions that pull you away from your true focus. By consciously returning each day to the practice of living in the end, you keep your inner state pure and strong. You counteract the negative voices and appearances that would otherwise pull you back into limitation. In essence, daily visualization acts as a spiritual discipline that trains your subconscious to hold a fixed, unwavering assumption. To visualize effectively, you must engage all your senses and emotions. Do not merely see the scene in your mind's eye, feel the textures, hear the sounds, smell the fragrances, taste the joy, and immerse yourself fully as if you are living that reality now. The subconscious mind responds not to intellectual ideas or vague hopes, but to the powerful impressions of feeling. The more alive and real the scene feels, the deeper it takes root within your being. Imagine yourself counting a pile of money, hearing the rustle of bills, feeling their weight in your hands, and sensing the deep gratitude and freedom that wealth brings. Or see yourself in the office, receiving congratulations on a successful deal, feeling the pride and ease that comes with achievement. These are not empty fantasies, but vital rehearsals that convince your subconscious of the truth of your desire. Consistency is the engine that drives manifestation. Even if your external circumstances seem unchanged at first, do not be discouraged. The subconscious mind operates according to law and divine timing. Each day you return to your visualization, you strengthen the inner cause of your desire. Slowly, the outer world must conform to this growing inner reality. The seeds you plant will sprout, roots will deepen, and eventually the fruit of manifestation will appear in your life. Be aware that visualization is not an escape from reality, but a training of the mind to perceive a higher truth. It is the act of creating a mental state that overpowers the illusion of lack. You are not pretending to have what you want, you are consciously living in the awareness of having it. This subtle but profound shift in consciousness is what transforms possibility into actuality. Make visualization a sacred appointment with yourself every day. Set aside time in a quiet place where you can withdraw from distraction. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and step fully into the scene you wish to create. Feel the emotions as if you have already arrived. Let your imagination paint the details with richness and clarity. Do not rush or let your mind wander. This focused attention is the key that unlocks the door to manifestation. If doubts or negative thoughts arise, do not fight them with resistance. Instead, gently redirect your attention back to your chosen scene. Remember, what you feed grows stronger. Feed the positive living vision of your desire with the steady flow of feeling and attention. The power of daily visualization extends beyond just attracting wealth or success. It is a transformative practice that aligns your entire being with the truth of your creative nature. It teaches you to govern your thoughts and feelings, to become the deliberate creator of your experience. Through this daily act, you reclaim your sovereignty and awaken to the infinite possibilities within. In time, you will notice subtle shifts, a new opportunity presenting itself, a relationship deepening, a problem resolving. These are the first signs that your inner state is taking form in the external world. Stay faithful to your practice, for the process is as important as the result. The law does not fail, it only requires your consistent belief and feeling. Know that visualization is not magic, but law. It is the expression of the principle that what you imagine and feel as real will manifest in your life. This is why daily repetition is indispensable. It builds the inner momentum necessary to move the invisible into the visible. Embrace the power of your imagination. Use it daily to live as the person who already has what they desire. Feel the joy, the gratitude, and the ease of that reality. Your subconscious mind will accept this new assumption and begin to unfold it in your outer world. The law of assumption is activated through your consistent, heartfelt practice. This is the master key to manifesting millions and living a life of abundance and fulfillment. The very essence of creation lies in feeling, not mere thought, not idle wishing, but the deep, convincing emotion that you already possess, what you desire. Feeling is the secret that bridges the gap between imagination and reality. Without feeling, the mind's pictures are empty. They lack the vital energy to command the subconscious and bring forth their manifestation. To understand this truth is to hold the key to shaping your life according to your will. When you desire something, it is not enough to simply see it or think about it. Your imagination must be charged with feeling, the feeling of having, the feeling of fulfillment, the feeling of satisfaction that naturally accompanies the realization of your wish. This feeling is the language your subconscious understands and obeys. It is the creative force that ignites the unseen power within you to rearrange the external world accordingly. Imagine a garden where seeds are planted. These seeds represent your desire. The water and sunlight are the feeling you give them. If you neglect this vital nourishment, the seeds will lie dormant and fail to grow. But when you consistently pour the water of feeling upon your mental seeds, they take root, sprout, and bloom into the flowers of reality. Feeling is the invisible catalyst that transforms mere thought into living form. It is important to note that feeling is not an intellectual concept. It is an experiential knowing. It is not the wish or hope that something will be, but the inner certainty that it already is. When you live in the end, you feel the state of your fulfilled desire now, in the present moment. This feeling saturates your being and leaves no room for doubt or contradiction. The subconscious mind cannot differentiate between actual events and vividly imagined feeling. When you impress upon it the feeling of reality, it accepts this as truth and moves to express it outwardly. This is why the quality and intensity of your feeling are paramount. A weak or half-hearted feeling will fail to produce strong results because the subconscious requires a clear and consistent command. You must cultivate the feeling as if you are already the person who has what you want. If you desire wealth, feel the freedom, the abundance, the ease that comes with having it. If you desire love, feel the warmth, the joy, the connection as though it is already present. These feelings must be felt deeply and sincerely, for the subconscious mind is not fooled by mere words or fleeting thoughts. This process requires practice and discipline. It is natural for the mind to wander or for doubts to arise. When they do, gently return to the feeling of the fulfilled desire. Reconnect with the emotions and sensations that confirm your wish has been granted. The repetition of this feeling, especially during moments of quiet and imagination, strengthens your inner state and aligns your being with the reality you seek. Many make the mistake of focusing too much on external appearances or current circumstances. They look at what is lacking and feel the absence of their desire. This only strengthens the feeling of lack, which the subconscious then manifests. Instead, you must reverse this process. You must assume the feeling of having, regardless of what your senses report. The outer world follows the inner conviction, not the other way around. The secret is to live from the end, to enter the mental and emotional state of the fulfilled wish and dwell there. In that state, all contradictions vanish. There is no questioning, no fearing, no hoping. There is only the unshakable feeling that what you desire is yours now. This feeling becomes the foundation upon which the subconscious builds your new reality. Feeling is also the bridge between your conscious desire and the creative power that moves the universe. When you cultivate this feeling, you align yourself with the infinite source of creation. It is as if you activate a divine spark within, which begins to rearrange circumstances, people, and events to match your internal state. This is the mystery behind effortless manifestation. The world cannot resist the force of feeling fully embodied. Practice feeling your wish fulfilled throughout the day. Carry it with you in your thoughts, your words, and your actions. Let it infuse your every moment with the vibration of success, joy, and abundance. The more you do this, the more natural it becomes, and the easier it is to maintain the state. Know that feeling is not something to be forced, but something to be cultivated. Begin by recalling moments in your life when you felt deep satisfaction or joy. Use those memories as a foundation to build the feeling of your fulfilled desire. Allow yourself to bask in that sensation until it becomes a natural part of your being. Through this inner experience, you begin to transform your consciousness from one of lack to one of plenty. The external world, bound by law, must follow. This is the power of feeling, the secret key to unlocking the doors of manifestation and living a life by design rather than chance. Embrace feeling as your most trusted ally. It is the language of creation and the master key that opens all doors. Without feeling, the mind's images are lifeless. With feeling, they become living realities. This truth is simple, profound, and available to all who seek to create intentionally and powerfully. Faith and persistence are the twin pillars upon which the power of assumption rests. To assume a state and hold it unwaveringly is not a casual exercise, but a committed act of faith, a faith so deep that it transcends appearances and defies temporary setbacks. This faith is not mere hope or wishful thinking. It is the absolute conviction that your assumption is already true, and your reality will inevitably conform to it. Without this steadfast faith, the creative power within remains dormant, and the manifestation you seek remains beyond reach. Persistence, then, is the natural companion of faith. The path from assumption to manifestation is rarely instantaneous. The subconscious mind, the silent architect of your experience, requires continual reinforcement of the new assumption. Daily and consistent return to the assumed state is necessary to outlast the old beliefs and impressions that have long shaped your external world. These old patterns resist change, for they are deeply embedded within the layers of your consciousness. Persistence breaks through these barriers, slowly dissolving the old and solidifying the new. Understand that the outer world reflects your inner state, not as a one-time event, but as an ongoing process. Your environment, relationships, and circumstances respond not to fleeting thoughts, but to the dominant assumption that you live by moment to moment. To change these reflections, your inner assumption must become persistent and immovable, like a stone foundation upon which new realities can be built. This is why the practice of revisiting and reaffirming your assumed state daily is vital. It is the daily watering of the seed until it grows into a mighty tree. Often people give up too soon. They assume the feeling for a short time, then become discouraged when their external world does not immediately reflect their desire. This premature surrender is the greatest obstacle to manifestation. The law obeys steadily, but in its own time. Your role is to remain faithful and persistent, knowing that the subconscious mind is quietly rearranging all factors behind the scene. Every moment spent in the assumed state strengthens the cause and brings the effect closer. Faith also protects you from being swayed by the outer appearances that seem to contradict your assumption. When your senses tell you one thing, but your faith in your assumption tells you another, it is faith that must prevail. This faith is a conscious decision to accept the unseen reality as true, regardless of what your eyes show. It is a refusal to allow the temporary and ever-changing world of appearances to dictate your inner state. Persistence is expressed not only in mental repetition, but also in the refusal to entertain contradictory thoughts or doubts. Your imagination must be guarded vigilantly. When old, limiting beliefs rise to challenge your new assumption, do not argue with them or give them power by attention. Instead, gently but firmly return your focus to the state you have chosen to live in. This persistent redirection is the discipline that anchors the new reality within your consciousness. The power of faith and persistence extends beyond mere repetition. It is an inner knowing, a certainty that you have already won, even if the external conditions suggest otherwise. This knowing creates an invincible inner fortress where your assumption can flourish unchallenged. From this place, your creative power flows effortlessly, commanding the subconscious to align your external world with your inner conviction. Faith and persistence are not passive states, but active forces. They require conscious effort and attention. The act of assuming a state must be deliberate and filled with feeling. Each time you return to your assumption, do so with renewed passion and belief. The strength of your persistence is measured not by how many times you practice, but by the quality and depth of your conviction. In time, this unwavering faith and persistence erode the old mental and emotional patterns that no longer serve you. They replace fear with confidence, doubt with certainty, and limitation with freedom. This transformation is reflected outwardly as the conditions of your life change to match your inner state. Opportunities appear, obstacles dissolve, and people respond to the new vibration you emit. Know that this process is a natural law, an immutable truth that governs all creation. Your faith in your assumption, maintained through persistence, is the power that moves mountains and alters the course of events. There is no force greater than a mind, steadfast in its belief and persistent in its assumption. Master this art of faith and persistence, and you step into your role as the conscious creator of your destiny. You become the master of your experience, no longer tossed by the waves of circumstance, but steering your life with confident assurance. The world outside bends to the will of the inner conviction that is held without wavering, without doubt, and without retreat. In this you find the secret of all manifestation, to live continually in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, to persist day after day with faith unshaken, and to trust the unseen forces working silently on your behalf. Through this disciplined practice, the law of assumption unfolds fully, and your desired reality becomes your living truth. To attract millions, or indeed anything you deeply desire, your focus must rest not on the struggle, the lack, or the how, but on the state of abundance itself. This principle requires a profound shift in consciousness, from seeing scarcity to perceiving fullness, from living in limitation to dwelling in the reality of plenty. The external world is a reflection of the dominant thoughts and feelings within you, and thus to change what you attract, you must first change what you embody inside. When you concentrate on the struggle, on bills unpaid, opportunities missed, or the absence of wealth, you give your subconscious a clear directive to maintain that very condition. Your emotions align with lack, your imagination dwells in limitation, and so your external reality remains unchanged, or worsens. The subconscious mind, impartial and exacting, faithfully manifests what it perceives as your truth. Therefore, the focus on struggle is self-defeating. It strengthens the barrier between you and your desire. Instead, your consciousness must inhabit the state of having already achieved your goal. Feel the sensations of ease, satisfaction, and security that come with abundance. Imagine yourself walking in a world where money flows freely to you, where opportunities come effortlessly, where your needs and desires are met with grace. This feeling is not a vague wish, but a living experience that saturates your being. It is the state you must maintain regardless of current appearances. This practice demands mastery over your imagination and attention. The mind is naturally drawn to what is tangible and immediate, which often includes the problems and limitations of daily life. To succeed, you must discipline yourself to shift your attention away from these distractions and toward the inner reality you choose to create. This is not denial of present conditions, but a deliberate refusal to be defined or limited by them. Living in the state of abundance requires more than positive thinking. It requires embodying the qualities and emotions of the wealthy, the successful, the fulfilled. You must feel gratitude for what you have and what is coming. Confidence in your ability to receive and joy in the experience of having. These feelings create a magnetic vibration that draws matching conditions to you. The law of assumption responds to the quality of your feeling more than to your verbal affirmations or mental wish.